this is an unofficial live stream. I'm just working on a video here and a ring. So I figured, oh, that's the wrong key. So I figured I would just go live and chit chat while I'm making this. So I may not be real good with the responses because I can't see the screen. So if you have questions, you'll have to message me or ask them in the chat, and maybe somebody will jump in. But yeah, so what I'm doing is making an inlay ring here, and I'm just going to drill out the center. And I just drill with two different drill bits. I use this one for the start. It's a 1/2 inch, and then I use this big boy, which is like a 3/4. As long as my ring isn't too small for that, but generally they're not. So I just drill it out to hollow out the inside before I use the boring head. So run this about 900. Get my tailstock up, lock it down. I'm actually backing up here a little bit. I like to get it close as I can. I usually hold the Jacob's chuck so it doesn't spin. Oh, see that? It's trying to walk on me. So I might have to use a smaller bit. Oh, that's straightened out. Bouncing around a little bit. A lot of times I'll drill a small hole in it first to get all the way through. Before I drill the bigger stuff. Things bouncing around a lot. So through the two, this is 3 colors of wood, all stabilized blank. Now I'm going through the back. So there I'm all the way through. So if I look, drill it all the way through. I wonder if that'll mess up my drilling. We'll see. So now I'm just going to drill a 3/4. I'm making a size 10 ring, which is bigger than 3/4. So I can drill this and still have plenty of room. So this is the 3/4 inch drill bit. Nice and slow. I'm going way too fast there. Somebody just left. So I don't know. I'm gonna flip this. The reason I flipped it is I don't know how much space behind here. So the reason I flipped this is I didn't pay attention to how much space I had behind it. And I don't want to hit anything with this giant drill bit. Lock that. You can see how much movement that big boy has. Bouncing all over the place. So this may not have been the best way to drill that out. But anyway, that's it. So now I got a base hole through my blank. Actually, I'm going to still use this chuck. What I'm going to do is put in a waste block. And I suppose you could just use the chuck, but this is how I've always done it, so I'm going to continue to do it this way. Oops. Ah, got it. Got it. Okay. So I'm just going to face this off. I've probably used this block for like 10 rings at least. And I glue them. So I'm just going in nice and straight so that this is flat. I glue these on. You could, of course, double-side tape them or whatever works for you. And I'm using this just to align it here. So just so you guys know, I'm just turning today, shooting some clips, but I wanted to just go live and let everyone watch. But I'm not doing a full-on demo, so the sound is not great because I got to leave the air running in the swamps, which always messes up the sound. So I'll do my best to talk to y'all, but it might not be great sound. But I'm just kind of telling you what I'm doing as I go along here. So I just use this. This isn't perfect, of course, but this helps me get my blank on here glued up. Oh, there we go. Better than if I just, you know, put this up here and stuck it on, I'd be all over the place. So by using this, it gets me closer. So I'm just going to put glue on here. And I'm just using thick CA. And I'll spray the other side with accelerator. Where is it? There we go. Spray that side. Then I'll put this up here and go whoop. And I'll just hold that on there for a minute. back this up. Then I can spray just to be sure it's on there. Now, I'm going to use a boring head. Again, if you're just joining me here, I'm just kind of working today and chatting as I go. I'm not doing a full-on demo, so I can't see the screen to answer any questions or anything, but just figured it might be somewhat interesting. So this is a boring head right here. And all this does is it just allows me to take out little adjustments out of the center of the ring to get my ring core to fit in. Because I need to get this to fit in there. So without the boring head, I would just have to use my carbide tool and be real careful in there, which can be quite difficult. So this just makes it a lot smoother and easier. Not 100% necessary, but sure is nice. And by looking at this, I got to take out quite a bit. So I like to line it up for the first cut, a little bit back. So I'm right inside there, right inside the line. And I'll lock it right there. You can see overhead that my cutter is right on the edge there. And I'll run this about 1100. Make sure my tail stick's locked. And so I'm going to advance it a full rotation. And then go in here. So a full rotation probably took off, I don't know, 0.5 millimeter or something like that. I'm going to do another rotation because I need a lot. So I'm going to go all the way around. And that just cuts straight in and out, which is perfect for the ring. So I can see how close I am. And when I get close, I can make smaller cuts, smaller adjustments, which is nice. So I'm still quite a ways out. So I'm going to go another full. Lock it down. Ooh, that was a big cut. Hopefully I didn't go too much. Now this blank is 3 pieces. It's all stabilized. Walnut, red, stabilized maple, and I don't know what the brown is. It's like spalted maple. So when I put my ring in, I want to make sure and go in far enough that I get some of each of it. Okay, I'm a lot closer, so I'm going to make smaller cuts now. So I'm going to lock it. I'm going to go half. There we go. And there's a dial on the side of this boring head, but I haven't looked to see what the sizes are. I'd be too smart. Back it up. Ooh. Oh, look at that. We are so close. That's crazy. The first, oh, it looks like I got a little lip there. I'm just going to go in with the same exact cut here. It's like I'm getting different cuts here. I'm just right on the outside. It must be moving a little bit on me. So I'm gonna barely go in here. So when I put my wrench in, I'm just gonna like a eighth of a turn maybe. There we go. Alright, so it slides in nicely. If I try to wobble it, it's just barely got a little movement, so that means I can put glue in there. So what I'm going to do now, pretty simple, I'm going to blow this out, wipe it out real good. Get any dust out I can, which there wasn't too much. These have some like nice line scratches on them, so they're ready to glue. Now I like thick CA. You can glue with whatever you like, epoxy, CA, but I'm just going to glue it in. I'm going to put glue all the way around, kind of in the middle here where I want the ring. And I'm just kind of spreading it with the nozzle here. And then I'm going to put this in, and I'm looking to make sure that I get my three types of wood on it here. So I had a little extra glue on the inside of the ring there I'll have to clean out, but that's no problem. So you can see the ring is set back in on the blank, and that's because I wanted to make sure and get my three pieces, my three colors. So I'm done with the boring head. Once this is dry, which it should be pretty close, I can turn this outside edge off, and I can turn right up to the ring here. I'm using a easy wood with a negative rake just to make it smooth. I'll be right back. I'll bring them tomorrow for sure.
Okay.
So I'm going to round the outside too while I got it on here. This negative rake works so good for the ring stuff because it doesn't rip it apart. See, I'm almost to the edge here. Real close. And this is a lot of meat on the outside of the ring here, so I can take that down a ton because a wood ring won't have a lot of meat on it. The reason I'm using the detailer here is I can cut a sharp corner and I don't kill my waste block. I could use the round tool or the square tool, but I would use a lot of my waste block, and like I said earlier, I use this same one over and over again. So this allows me to cut it up kind of close without eating up the waste block. And then I can use the round or the square to keep rounding it. Up quite a bit. These blanks have a lot of meat on them. Which rings are not a lot different than pins. You turn a lot of material away. I'm just kind of rounding this. The more I can do here, the better, because it's so secure. It'll be secure on the ring mandrel, but it'll still have movement. It won't be perfectly square or round like it is right now, because ring mandrels have a little flex to them. So, all right, let's see here. So I got some glue in there. Actually, I got quite a bit of glue. So I'll cut that off here, but now I can go on the outside here, and what I'm going to do is cut a little channel. So I use the detailer to cut a channel. And then I use a flush cut saw. And I just use that channel to guide me while I'm cutting. I probably could like try to hammer this off or just tap it off, but the saw works really well and easy, so it doesn't make sense to beat on it too much. Oh, there it goes. Popped her loose. You can see I just popped a little bit of the glue loose there. So that's the outside, that's the inside, that's the rough. So I'm putting on the SC Mini Chuck. This is an SC3. This is an SC1. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to use this to hold the ring while I do the outside a little bit. Let's see, how can I hold this? Problem is, I don't know if that'll work getting it straight. I guess I can do a little bit. See how level I get it, and then I'll use the sanding disc. Mostly I just want to get the crust cleaned up from the glue and that kind of stuff. That actually worked pretty well. I got a little more, but I don't want to go too far and make it uneven. So now I can put my ring mandrel on here. So this is just a ring mandrel and a collet chuck. I'm using the Beal chuck. You can use, we have a Penn State one at Turner's Warehouse. You want to loosen up your center here. Slide this onto the first step that fits snug. I tend to do that a lot. Snug this up nicely. And there you go. Now, you can use a variety of tools. I'm going to use the little detailer because I like to be able to go around both sides and kind of shape around. Let's go overhead here. So now you want to be real careful not to hit your mandrel. That would cause a nasty catch. So I'm getting close, but I'm not getting too close. Once I've got the sides cleaned up, I like to go back to my round insert with the negative rake. And I'm just looking at the side here, the profile, see how thick this is. What I'm going to do is flip this. Let's see, where did I put my wrench? It always seems to disappear. So I'm flopping it. It's just one of my Chad things. I don't know that it does anything, but I like the way, I think it helps it be even and not out of round, because these mandrels aren't perfect because there's 3 metal pieces flexing. So, you know, it could be a little out of round. It's kind of like if you flip your bushings around on your pen. That's pretty thin. That's as far as I'm going to go. And the rest I'm going to do with sandpaper. So I can round my corners a little more. This one's a little square still. I can do all that with sandpaper, but you see my 3 layers look pretty cool. So here I've got some Abernet. Hard to hold sandpaper to where you don't block the camera. So I'm just going to work my way up and get the 220. I'll pop this off and inspect it real quick here. Oh, it looks cool. What I'm looking at is making sure my sides are good here. And if I was concerned, which I'm not so much, but for the sake of showing what I would do if I was off a little bit, I would throw my sanding disc It's so funny how things go missing 10 seconds after you used them. Like, I just used this chuck. The key is missing. I mean, I don't know where I put it. There it is. this thing just locks in. And the beauty is these are machined precise on a metal lathe. And if I was concerned with my edges, I could square them up like this. Now obviously I'm doing it by eye, but I'm using the flatness of this disc. And the cool thing is with these rings, this is a stainless, but if you were using a tungsten or ceramic or whatever, you don't really have to worry about messing up the ring because you're going to polish it up and do all that anyway. So you're trying to be real careful. And looks like I got it. Actually, it'd be kind of cool to do like a brushed look on the edge, but I'm not going to do that right now. So anyway, that's how I square up the edges if I'm off a little bit. This one wasn't bad, but just to make sure. Alright, back on. Jeez, every time. Alright, so this is a 600, and I'm going to hit the sides because I just kind of scuffed them up with that disc, so that's okay. But then I can really smooth this out. Feels really smooth. Oops. All right, so just to recap, I just looked to see some questions. This wasn't like a real full demo. I was just kind of making this ring. Figured I would turn on the cameras and see if anyone wanted to watch. But it's a segmented ring, 3 stabilized woods laminated together on a comfort core. This is a Record Herald lathe, which we will have in stock at Turner's this week, I'm hoping, back in stock. It's a 1 1/4 by 8 thread, so it's a nice compact lathe that can do big things. Now this is a collet chuck with the ring mandrel. You see I just sanded it down. I feel like it looks pretty smooth and good. Now the debate for me is, do I put a CA finish on this or a Odie's oil, which I want to do Odie's oil because I like the way it feels a lot better. But what would a customer want? You know, that's the hard part. I think I'm going to do Odie's. So I'm just kind of smoothing out if I have any lateral lines from spinning this and sanding it. This is a really cool. So I'm just going to get all this dust off here. I'm just using Odie's oil on this guy. Odie's oil is a cool finish. It's a soft, more natural finish. It doesn't look like plastic. Like a CA is cool, but it looks like plastic because it is. It's coating. I'm just applying that. So this, I just have a little, not extra, but I didn't wipe anything off. I want to let it soak in. So I'm kind of leaving this chunky. I'm going to go get a drink because it's super hot out here. And then when I come back, I'll buff this out. So ideally, if I could leave this for 20 minutes, that'd be perfect. But what I'll probably end up doing is I'm going to buff this off now, and then I'll probably come back and do another coat tomorrow or a couple days from now, and really let this soak in. So I'm going to turn this on, turn this way down. The Herald gets down to like 200 RPM, so that's good for this kind of thing. So I'm just kind of buffing it out a little bit with the paper towel. But you can see that the Odie's gives it a really nice, mild finish. So I just got to buff the inside, and then that guy will be done. Alright, that is it for this ring. If I come back later, I got a turning project to do. I'll jump on again if anyone wants to